All right, folks, what we got here is a 2020 Nissan Rogue SV with a little 4-cylinder. We are going to do front brake pads and rotors. All right, over here is two 14mm bolts. You take them off, then this caliper should pop right out. Okay, slides right out. Don't forget, clean that all up, lubricate it. We have to push the piston in when we're done. Now, these are the brake pads. They just slide right out. Here's the inside. This one is the outside one. Okay, there you go. All right. And now, the brake caliper bracket is 19mm. So there's two bolts in the back, one here and one here. We're going to remove them, and this bracket will come right out. Let's do that. So, like I said, I hung the caliper up over here, out of the way. 19mm in the back. Takes off the two bolts. One, there's two, and the bracket's going to come out, fall out of my hand. There you go. So now what we're going to do is we are going to wire brush that up, clean it with brake cleaner, and replace those clips. And look at this, the rotor's already fallen off already. Let's stick it down. Watch your fingers. There you go. All right, you can see the little lip on the side here. Okay, that's the rotor wearing out. Over here too, you can run your nails on it and you can actually hit it. So that means this inside of the rotor is worn out. Put a nice little groove into it. So always change the rotors with the new brake pads, because you put new brake pads onto the old rotors, you got all these little heat marks, and that's what's going to give you a little squeak. Okay, so change them in pairs. It's highly recommended. All right, so let's clean this all up. Clean up the caliper. All right, the caliper, there's a tool. You want to push this piston all the way in, then lubricate this. Lubricate the back here. Okay, and let's go. We're going to go with AutoZone parts. All right. All right, for parts, we're going to use Duralast. The model number is 76020DL. Front rotors. The front brake pads will be DG1737. These are the gold pads. They come with new clips, new sensors, new brake pads. All right, so that's what we're going to do. There is the rotor. We're going to clean up. See, it comes with a coating of oil on it so it doesn't rust. So make sure you get brake cleaner and clean that all up and get that off, because you don't want the oil on the brake pads, because then that's going to be a problem. All right, so let's clean that up. Throw the rotor on there. Clean up this caliper. Put new clips on it. Remember how the clips go, because if you don't, you're not going to remember how to put them back on. Okay? Just to show you a picture in case you guys forget. Over and out. And also check this. See this? This, make sure that it goes in and out with ease. Okay? If it doesn't, that means it's binding. You have to pop these out, clean them, and lubricate them. Okay? As you go in and out so that the caliper slides back and forth. Okay? That's why they call it sliding calipers. All right, folks. Let's go continue on. All right, on to these the hardware. Okay, if you notice that the hardware has springs on them. Okay, and if you notice, they come in a left and a right spring. It has to do with the way it's curved. Okay, so if you look at the hardware, the little corner piece goes on the top of this bracket, spins around, and then points up. Okay, let me show you without the bracket. Here it is here. Okay, it hooks onto the top, goes around, grabs this piece, and then On the ends, they point up. So, like I said, there's a left and there's a right. All the 4 brackets are the same, just the springs are different. So it's a left and a right spring. So, let's start with one of these brackets here. Let's take this one here. Okay, I'm going to take one of these springs. I'm going to set it up in here. Wrap it around here. Oh. Whose idea was this? Who created this idea? Let's try to bend it down here. It's not fun. Not fun at all. Got that. Try to wrap it around here. But I gotta get this piece under there. And that's where the problem is gonna be here. It's hard to get that hook, and that hook, and that hook. But we'll get it. Just don't want to mangle any of this stuff, because it looks like it's so delicate. Let's try the bottom here first, and then try to hook this in here. What do you think? In there. In there. You know, I probably need like a little tiny screwdriver just to give that little bit of a push. Let's see if we can get that. Alright, so here's a little screwdriver here. See if I can push this up a little bit. Yeah, so the screwdriver is going to have to help. That around here, and that's the setup. Alright, so basically I'm just going to push this little tab up so I can go around that spring. And that's what she looks like. Okay? Same duplicate. Let's try to do this left side. Same thing. Stick it through the hole on top there first. Gonna wrap it around here. You can get the bottom one wrapped up. That one's the easy one. Put it around this bend here. Through here. It's very tedious here, people. Very tedious. Okay, use the bottom here so I can push this up. Up and over. There you go. And this one's going to go around here. All right. So I'm sure it'll get better as I do it faster. Let's do it one more time here. Do a little bit more of a real-time type of thing. I'm gonna go around here, put it around here. Maybe I'll go around it and lift this up a little bit. It's all different ways you could try to do it. I'm just gonna try all different ways to try which one was gonna be easier. But like I said, don't want to mangle it. Okay, don't want to break this freaking thing. But it is what it is here, people. It is what it is. Come on, why do they make this thing so complicated for? There you go, another set. Wow, this is crazy. All right, but you guys get the concept. In this hole, around that little bracket there. Honestly, I think the left side is easier than the right side. Yes, it is. Look at that. I find the left side easier to put on than the right side. Maybe because I'm right-handed. Who knows? All right, so you get the basic idea. And once that is done, and you clean out all your bracket area with the rust, then these are going to snap right in there. All right? So that's what we're going to do. All right, so after you wire brush and clean everything, and you check to make sure all these sliding pin slide, it's time to put the little clips on. Right? They only go one way. Okay, they're just basically gonna sit right there. If you notice, there's two little side pieces. They're gonna line up on the side. So you can't be too far over to the left, can't be too far over to the right. On some cars, they will not have that. So if you are too far over, you're gonna be hitting the rotor that sits right in here. So this must be flush, this must be flush, and you are good to go. So now we're gonna bolt this up to the knuckle with a 19 millimeters. All right, it also comes with these little wear sensors. Okay, has a little clip here. Okay, it's just gonna clip onto your brake pads. Take your old brake pads and put it in the same position as it is. All right, that's where it is. And just go and just clip it on and you are good to go. All right, now it's time to put the brake pads on the car. So let's do that. All right, so when it's time to put the pads on, it's going to be a little weird because they're a little springy there. All right, but basically the spring goes on the inside of the pad like that. You line it up and then you're going to push it in. All right, so the design basically is just to keep pressure on the brake pads away from the rotor. All right, so once this is all lined up, okay, it should go in there like butter. Okay, that's what it's designed to do, and that is that. Okay, that should be nice and free. It should not be binding. If it's binding, something's wrong. Maybe you didn't clean the rust off the brake caliper, so the clip is not sitting flush and it's coming down and putting tension on the brake pads. Either that, you didn't buy the good brake pads, and there's a little metal here that's kind of like the little metal burrs that makes it a little fatter than it's supposed to. But it shouldn't be gliding in and out like this with no problemos. Okay, so now what we're going to do here now is I'm going to clean this caliper up a little bit, and we're going to push the piston in so it's nice and flush, and then we're going to lubricate that. All right, so it's time to push the caliper in, the caliper piston in. If you guys have the proper tool, it just sits in here and it pushes it in. If you don't, they have C-clamps, they have tools that you could buy. The whole idea is to push this piston in, and it should go in with ease. Okay, if it's binding, you have another problem there. Okay, nice and easy. Push it in. As far as it goes. And a little boot there. We're going to push that little boot back in because it folds. All right. That's it. We're going to push this all back in by hand. And then we're going to lubricate the piston side and this side. All right, so it won't squeak. All right, so now that it's nice and clean, lubricated that and the back here. All right, now we're gonna put the caliper on, and because of the spring tension, you're gonna have to hold this on while you squeeze the caliper down. Okay, and don't forget, these are slotted. Okay, so they only go a certain way when you put the caliper in. You're having a hard time lining up that hole is because this might be in the wrong spot. All right, so this only sits a certain way, and once it's in, then you tighten everything up to specs. All right, don't forget to tighten up those 19 millimeters back there to specs, nice and tight. Then you got the ones for the caliper too. All right, so let's do this. All right, the caliper's on. Remember, this is what I told you about that slotted piece. Okay, it's gonna lay right in here, and that's how you're gonna line up that hole. It actually stops this when you're tightening it up from spinning. Right, so that's the purpose there. All right, so tighten up that to specs, and then you are good to go. All right, there you go, brakes and calipers. Thanks for watching.